Hello and welcome to the show. Today's episode is being recorded at my desk and it's a full house, just in case we have the usual interruptions in the background. If this is your first time listening to the show, the goal of this podcast is free business education, so you're in the right place. And by the time we're done, please share, promote, and talk about the show so that your friends and family members in Nigeria and abroad can benefit from all the issues that we tackle over here. They can do that by subscribing on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or whatever player of their choice. And if you in particular have any sales or marketing questions, then bring them to me. You can SMS or call or WhatsApp me on 080-6466-2140. Today, I want us to look at some business ideas and, all this talk about plan A, plan B. Because somebody called me on the radio show, the one that I have on Radio Maria, and we had quite a discussion over there. In fact, some people even called in to give their own opinions, and I figured, it's a very good thing to talk about over here today. So, let's get on with this whole plan A and plan B thing. A lady, Dorcas, she called in, and she wanted a business idea for a plan B. Okay, no, she didn't call in. She sent an SMS. So she wanted a business idea for plan B, and her conditions were as follows: that it has to be something that's in her area, and let's see what else. Okay, I think that was the only condition that was attached. So remember, she says she wants a plan B, and her plan B has to be in the same area that she is. And unfortunately, there wasn't much more detail after that. And this is one of the reasons why, not just on the radio show, but over here on the podcast, that's for those of you who reach out to me on WhatsApp. I mean, some of you just ask questions and you don't have a lot of context behind it, and actually need more context, because I noticed that some of you that ask a few questions and then you just tune out. I'm not asking you questions because I don't have anything else better to do with my time. But the thing is, if I'm going to give you an answer that is relevant to you and is useful to you, it's applicable in a particular context, I'm going to have to know some more. So you can't just reach out and say, hey, I'm looking at the plan B. The plan B must be in my area. I don't know what your plan A is. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your area is. In fact, I also wanted to know, why must it be in your area? Is it something with supervision? You want to be around so that you can supervise? Because there's some people who, in the real estate space, who say don't buy anything that is not in your backyard. In other words, if you live in Lagos on the mainland, don't buy real estate that is in Lagos, in Lekki. So that's the kind of idea, that if you live on the mainland, buy real estate on the mainland. So, anything sharp, you can just dash there and go and see, how far out my house, that kind of thing. So those were the sorts of questions that, follow-up questions I would have asked. But of course, she didn't provide any more details, even though I asked on the air for not just her, but for other people. Like, okay, these people, you sent in questions. I need some more context. I need some more info, send a WhatsApp, but they didn't. So I just tackled it anyway, based on the limited assumptions that I had. So, why must it be in your backyard? Why must it be in your area? Which area are you at? So if you do reach out, please, the more details you can give me for your questions, the better. So this whole thing of plan B, I now said lots of us actually should be looking at our plan A, because there are lots of people who, you're already doing something now. You think the thing you're doing is not sweet, or the thing that you're doing is not bringing in the kind of money that you like. So therefore, you're now thinking of plan B, which is in another space, another industry, another XYZ. But I firmly believe, especially for those of us who are fresh, who are new in this whole business thing, good business ideas can flow from your plan A. Let me repeat. You're currently doing plan A. Plan A is not sweet. Plan A is not giving you money. Or plan A does not have room for career progression or for, whatever. Good ideas can come from plan A. And this is why. Good ideas can come from the plan A, the thing you're currently doing. Because the thing that you're currently doing, you have some familiarity with that thing. You already know it. Nobody has to teach you. You don't have to go and spend time and money trying to learn something else. You already have some level of expertise, assuming you are a diligent somebody. If you're not a diligent person, then, really I can't help you, because it doesn't matter what advice I give you. The way you're carrying your non-diligence in your plan A, you would transfer it in your plan B, and any which way you just mess yourself up. So I'm assuming that you're diligent. And if you're diligent, you would have carried small expertise, no matter how small. Then, most importantly, you have knowledge of the customer base in your plan A. Because after all, it's the something that you're doing right now, the job that you're doing right now, the hustle that you're doing right now. So you already know the customer base or the stakeholders, like the every. You have a sense of it. Then, finally, you have some credibility, or you already have some reputation in this plan A. Because of that, when you are fed up with your plan A, it makes more sense to say, okay, this skill set that I have, this knowledge that I have, this familiarity that I have, the stakeholders I know, this customer base, blah, blah, blah. What other business opportunities can I look for that are directly tied into this plan A? Because the problem with looking for a plan B that is in a new space is you will have to go and learn a whole new bunch of stuff. You will spend time, you will spend money. It will take you a while to get expertise in this new field that you're branching into. The customers, this space you're branching into, you do not know. And then you have no credibility, you have no name in that space. So this is the example that I gave on the show. And then for somebody else who called after her, in fact, we even examined that ourselves. But let me just give the example that I gave her on the show. So this was the example. So the example I gave was, take me as a baby lawyer, back in my baby lawyer days. Now let's say I started working for one senior. Back then, that's what we used to call them, your senior colleague. So let's say I started working with one senior and the senior was paying me 70K. And because of that, I'm not happy. By the way, I graduated a while ago. My matric number is, 1996. So, that I graduated a while ago. So back then, 70K would not have been sweet, but 70K would not have been entirely rubbish. I know that now 70K is minimum wage and it's rubbish, but I'm just saying, for when I graduated, 70K, yeah, it was not correct, but it was not too bad. So my senior is paying me 70K. I begin to grumble, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do plan B. If my plan B now, remember, I'm a baby lawyer. I graduated in law. I've been working here for like 2-3 years. If my plan B is now that I want to go and do tailoring, fashion design, or photography, or whatever, I'm going to have to learn a new skill. I will have to pay someone or invest my time in learning fashion design or learning photography, assuming it's not something that comes in it. Because, some people have the talent, as in, follow come, as they're born, you just have some talent. So, assuming it's not one of those inlaid talent things, you now have to get familiar with something else. You now have to learn a new industry. You now have to learn a new set of customers, a new set of stakeholders, a new set of expectations. You're now trying to build reputation. And these things take time. And when you're frustrated in your plan A and you're trying to look for plan B, time and money is precisely the thing that you do not have. If you're frustrated as a baby lawyer, you're actually trying to see, how can I quickly, be raising my level of income from 70K and adding other things. Not that I'm planning to move on to something else, but then the thing I have chosen requires another incubation stage of maybe 2-3 years of learning or something, or establishing a name before you start seeing money. I hope you guys are flowing, hope you guys are following me. If you're not, I give my phone number at the beginning of every episode and at the end of every episode. So send me a WhatsApp message or send me an SMS. You say, bro, I heard this episode. This thing you say is a lie. I know, I agree. And, we'll have a talk about it. And in fact, it might even inspire a follow-up episode. So, me now, as a baby lawyer, any 70K, I'm frustrated that my senior is not treating me well, he's not paying me well. Instead of looking at another industry, it makes more sense to now see what other opportunities, given the expertise I already have, the knowledge base I already have, the credibility and reputation I already have, what avenues for extra income can I pursue first? and max it out before I now start stretching and say, okay, well, I'm going to go and do plan B. And so the lady on the air, well, of course, she didn't give me details, but on the air, this was just me freestyling. That these are some things that as a baby lawyer I would look at. CAC registration. Lots of people want to start businesses. If my Oga is not treating me well in the office, nothing stops me from doing PP. In law and in medicine, PP, we call it private practice. And I think, yeah, it's private practice. That's what we used to call it back in the day. I don't know about now. So you're my Oga, no problem. It doesn't mean that on my own time, I can't be coordinating one or two hustle. So we used to call it PP back then. Lawyers, you work for your Oga, but you now do private practice. Medicine is the same thing. You have your Oga, but you also be doing your side, your PP, your private practice. So I can be doing CAC registration for people. Work for my Oga from 8, leave the office by 5, and then by 6 o'clock in the evening, I can start looking at other people's business ideas, preparing the articles and memorandum of association, all the paperwork, all the everything that we need to do. Prepare it on my own time. So that my Oga won't come and say that, look, I'm paying you 70K, so I expect for you to work for me and not to do anything. As in, this one, I'll be doing it on my own time, so nobody can quarrel me. That yes, it's PP, but I did it when I went home. I didn't do it in your office. I didn't use your material, so you can't hassle me. This is my own side something. So as a baby lawyer, you can be doing CAC registration for people, and there's no problem. There are some businesses or there are some people who need legal research. Nothing stops you from doing legal research on your own time. Even if you're going to use your gas place, some seniors are okay. Some seniors are cool. You can tell them that, okay, senior, to be honest, there's some private whatever, that I'm pursuing. And I beg, I'll be coming into the office on Saturday. If there's anything you want me to do, I will do. But I'll also spend like 1 or 2 hours. I'll use the office library because I'm trying to tidy up 1 or 2 things. If you don't believe me, my cousin, who is currently a senior advocate of Nigeria, when he was with, what's this guy's name? Another senior advocate, I can't remember his name. The senior advocate didn't mind. He knew that everybody has 1 or 2 things that, they are pursuing. But he didn't mind. Okay, no problem. You guys want to come in on Saturday? So long as you make sure we're done with this matter, sure, no problem. And that's how my cousin and a bunch of other people, that's how they started. You just have nice rapport with your senior, you're straight up with your senior, and you make sure that you deliver whatever it is that you guys are working on. And some of them are cool like that. Like, sure, no problem. You want to come on Saturday, you want to come on Sunday, no problem. You want to use the library, no problem. So, legal research, that one is also there. Then there are some people that need some help when it comes to contract drafting and review. I've signed something. I've signed tenancy agreement. I've signed non-disclosure. I've signed whatever. Well, you're a lawyer. Please help me look at it. When you look at it, I'll give you 50K. Oh, sorry. I don't know how much, people will charge now. So I'm still thinking, like back when I graduated. So if you looked at something and somebody gave you 50K, back when I graduated, it wasn't a bad deal. But now I don't know how much lawyers will charge. So please don't say I'm telling lawyers to be collecting 50K. I'm using the time off. Like I said, my matric number is 1996. So that's the eye that I'm using to tackle this question. Then let's see what else. One other idea I came up from was tutor. That's teaching people. There's a law school in Buhari, in Abuja. There's a law school in Enugu, law school campus in Enugu, law school campus in Lagos, and there should be 4. Abuja, Kano, Enugu, Lagos. Yes. So you can be going there and be teaching people. Okay, are you getting ready to prepare for the bar exam? That's the big exam that we write before they give us our qualification, our license, so that we can practice law. You can go and be teaching people. So those are the examples that I just freestyled on the air. So you can see now how your plan B can take advantage of your expertise and your knowledge that you have and the reputation that you have in your plan A. For that kind of thing now, as a baby lawyer, I don't have to learn anything new. I don't have to meet anybody new. I don't have to network in any new circumstances. I don't have to, there is no learning curve. I don't have to learn, practice anything, build expertise or whatever in a new industry. All I need to do is just to step aside small after hours, and I can start building my plan B. I repeat, too many people are looking for a plan B that is totally different from your plan A. You're making your journey longer than it need be. Now, the next person I called after we had discussed this matter, the lady is in the poultry business in in Abuja. Now, for her, the poultry thing has become, hyperinflation now. So, the cost of chicken has gone up, everything. So, basically, the business was good. But with the way the economy has turned recently, it's no longer a good hustle for her because the cost of maintaining this chicken and everything, the cost price that she wants to sell it at, people in the market are not buying. In fact, people in the market are owing her money. They're holding her like 150K. That's what she said. And then she has chickens at home that is just inventory that is sitting idle that she can't sell. Because, think about it. If you raise this chicken and you do the math, and it's like raising each chicken costs you, but I'm not in the chicken space, so I have no idea. I'm just making stuff up. So please, nobody crucify me. So if it costs you, let's say like 7.5 to raise one chicken, it doesn't make sense if you're now going to take the chicken to the market and you sell it at 7.6. How can you profit 100 naira on top each chicken? It doesn't make sense. So I don't know what adequate profit margins are, but in my own opinion, my own guess, if it costs me like 7K to raise each chicken to majority, chicken feed plus this, plus that, plus paying the boys who work for me, you average out the amount, it costs me like 7K. For me, I think the least I'll try and sell my chickens would be 10K at least. Maybe even 15K. In fact, I'll even try for 15K. So let me try and at least double the money that goes into it. So because of that now, she says she's looking for plan B, another industry. So I now told her that, look, madam, based on what we discussed before, it's the same thing over here. If you're going to look for plan B, because she mentioned some other industries, all these other industries is a new space. You don't have familiarity there. You have to go and learn, and you have to pay somebody to teach you, or you have to go and be doing apprenticeship or research. You will take time to build up expertise. You will take time to learn a whole new set of customers and their expectations. And you will take time to build up your credibility and reputation. And right now, people are owing you 150K. You have inventory that you haven't maxed out. So inventory that you haven't sold. A plan B in a new whatever, madam, is too much stress. So I told her, you know what? Give me some time. Let me think. The next episode, I'll come back with some more ideas. That's how we ended. She now called the phone. The very next person that called said, bro, what you said is correct. I agree with you. Instead of her looking for XYZ industries, I can't remember what she mentioned. She said, this woman is better off, instead of selling, I can't remember the names. The one that you sell for meat is called something. Abi is broiler, Abi. She said, instead of this woman selling broiler for meat, she should now switch and be selling layers for eggs. The layers will be laying the egg. You'll be selling the egg. After a while, when the layer has passed its due date, you can now slaughter that one. And I said, madam, thank you very much. Perfect example. For somebody who has been raising broilers for meat, thinking of plan B in farming, it doesn't make sense, in my own opinion. You're better off doing plan B that will take advantage of your familiarity, your expertise, your knowledge, your skill set, your credibility, the reputation that you already have now in the chicken space. So if you're now raising layers and selling eggs, the people in the market, they already know you as a chicken woman. So to make the step from broilers, selling chicken broiler meat, to now chicken layer eggs, it is a small step. People already know that when they see you, they see chicken. You already know how to raise chickens. You already know the diseases that chickens face. You already know the things that chickens need to eat. You already have an idea of who are the market dealers who are dealing in chicken kinds of, chicken related stuff. It is a small step. You can see quicker returns. Your plan B doesn't always have to be something entirely different from your plan A. So please, let's bear that in mind. Anyway, apart from that brilliant example, later on I was now thinking of the matter. And I came up with some other stuff. You can do some value add. Abi, is that value add? Anyway, I can't remember if it's value add anyway. But bottom line is, this is something else I thought of. Okay, selling the chicken whole in the market, people are no longer buying because it's too expensive. So I thought about it. What if you train up your boys small and then you guys start butchering the chicken in your own place, and then you package it in your own place, and then start selling the parts instead of the whole chicken? Selling chicken parts, you might be able to do that at a profit. And my own justification now was, instead of spending time and resources learning a new trade, all she has to do now really is look for someone to train her boys quickly on. This is how you butcher chicken. And then all she has to do now is to buy a deep freezer. That can be done in a shorter period of time, and you can now transition into something else. And I made a whole list of other stuff. I can't remember where I kept those notes, but anyway, I'll get to it later on, and then we'll share that on the podcast. But that is also another example, apart from the baby lawyer example, to show how your plan B doesn't have to be entirely new. So, but of course, everybody does whatever it is they want to do. So if you insist you want to go into a new industry, then, fine. I can't force you. But for quick results, your plan B should be something that is directly tied in to your plan A, what you're doing now, because you have familiarity in this space. You've built some expertise in this space for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You've been doing it. By the way, the woman that was doing chicken, she's been doing it for like 10 years. Then, you know the customers, you know the stakeholders. Like this woman in particular, she already knows the market people, the market association, the market every. You know the customers, you know the stakeholders. You have some credibility, you have some reputation. Everybody knows that is the madam that we've been dealing with chickens for the last 10 years. If she's coming now, she wants to start dealing in ugu, for instance, vegetable. It's, maybe it's not too much of a stretch, but it's a new thing. You now have to start making inroads into the ugu networks in the market. But if they know you as a chicken woman for 10 years and you're going to do plan B, trying to say I'm moving from broiler, from broiler to layers, it's a much smaller step. So that's all for today, folks. I hope I've been able to convince and not confuse any of you listening. But like I said, if you have any questions, especially if they're sales and marketing related, all you have to do is call, SMS, or WhatsApp me on 080-6466-2140. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you disagree with. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you, dear listener, at the next episode.